Welcome back to our channel, Coin Lovers. Glowing star today. We're diving into the fascinating story of the 1946 Wheat Penny, a classic 1-cent coin from the United States that carries the proud legacy of Abraham Lincoln and the spirit of post-war America. This no-mint mark penny from Philadelphia marks a return to peace, prosperity, and a traditional copper design after World War II. Stay tuned as we explore its history, design, and hidden value that could turn an ordinary penny into a collector's treasure. Top 4 first up. The 1946 Wheat Penny is one of the classic coins from the Lincoln Wheat Cent series, which was minted by the United States from 1909 to 1958. The coin bears a portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse front side and the iconic 2 wheat stalks on the reverse, symbolizing prosperity and the strength of American agriculture. The 1946 penny, struck right after World War II, reflects an important period in American history, a time of rebuilding and economic recovery. The 1946 Wheat Penny, without a mint mark, was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. Coins produced in Philadelphia during this time typically do not have a mint mark, which is why you will not find a D for Denver or S for San Francisco under the date on the obverse side. The Philadelphia Mint struck a large number of these coins, approximately 991,655,000 pieces, making it one of the most common wheat cents of the 1940s. Despite its high mintage, collectors value the coin for its historical significance and condition, especially in uncirculated grades. In terms of composition, the 1946 penny was made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This was a return to the standard bronze alloy used before the wartime years. During World War II, in 1943, the U.S. Mint temporarily switched to steel pennies coated with zinc to conserve copper for the war effort. By 1946, the war had ended, and copper once again became available for coin production, marking a symbolic return to normalcy for the nation. This shift makes the 1946 penny part of the post-war recovery period in American coinage. The obverse side of the coin features Victor David Brenner's famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. The inscriptions on the front include, "In God We Trust," along the top, "Liberty" on the left, and the date 1946 on the right. The simplicity of this design and its strong association with Lincoln make it one of the most beloved designs in U.S. numismatic history. The reverse of the 1946 Wheat Penny carries 2 stylized wheat ears curving inward along the sides, enclosing the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above this is a phrase, "E pluribus unum," which means out of many one. This design was meant to highlight unity, hard work, and the agricultural strength of the country, all values closely tied to Lincoln's legacy and the American spirit. In circulation, most 1946 pennies show signs of heavy-wear due to their widespread use in everyday commerce. Finding examples with full red luster and sharp details is increasingly rare today. Collectors categorize these coins by color: brown BN, red-brown RB, and red RD, with fully red mint state specimens being the most valuable. The coin's worth generally increases dramatically with its condition and rarity of preserved luster. In the current coin market, a typical circulated 1946 penny is worth about 2 to 10 cents, mainly for its copper value and collectible interest. However, uncirculated coins graded MS 65 red or higher can fetch prices from $5 to $25, depending on demand and quality. Exceptional examples certified by professional grading services, like PGS or NGC, can be worth much more, especially if they display strong mint luster, full strike, and minimal spotting. There are also a few known errors and varieties for the 1946 Wheat Penny. Some of the most notable include off-center strikes, die cracks, lamination errors, and repunched mint marks on coins from other mints. While the Philadelphia issue doesn't have a mint mark to double or repunch, errors like die breaks or planchet flaws can still make a 1946 no-mint mark penny quite valuable, sometimes reaching hundreds of dollars at auctions, depending on rarity and visual appeal. The 1946 penny represents more than just a small copper coin. It symbolizes a turning point in American history as the nation transitioned from war to peace and prosperity. It also reminds collectors of how everyday objects like coins can hold deep historical meaning. Many people saved these pennies during the late 1940s, making them a nostalgic link to a generation that experienced both hardship and hope. In conclusion, the 1946 wheat penny, without a mint mark, remains a fascinating piece of numismatic and historical heritage. Whether you find it in a family coin jar or purchase it from a collector, this coin carries a story of post-war America, economic recovery, and the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln. For coin enthusiasts, it's not just about its monetary worth. It's about holding a small yet powerful piece of American history in your hands. Next up, the 1957 wheat penny, without a mint mark, is one of the fascinating coins from the end of the wheat cent series in the United States. It was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not include a mint mark on its coins. This coin represents a significant era in American numismatic history, as it was among the final issues before the iconic design change to the Lincoln Memorial Reverse in 1959. The 1957 Lincoln Wheat Cent was part of the long-running series that began in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse features a detailed portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, the first real person to appear on a regular U.S. coin. The inscriptions include the words "In God We Trust" at the top, "Liberty" to the left, and the year 1957 to the right of Lincoln's profile. On the reverse side, the coin proudly displays two wheat stalks curving along the sides, a symbol of prosperity and America's agricultural strength. Between the wheat ears is a denomination 1 cent, and above that, the words United States of America. The familiar motto, E Pluribus Unum, appears at the top. This simple yet powerful design became one of the most beloved and recognizable in U.S. coinage history. The Philadelphia Mint produced an impressive number of these coins in 1957, over 282 million pieces, which means the 1957 no-mint mark wheat penny is not considered rare in circulated condition. However, its value and collectability depend heavily on its condition, color, and strike quality. Collectors classify these coins by their surface tone: brown BN, red brown RB, and red RD, with fully red, lustrous examples being the most valuable. In uncirculated mint state condition, especially in grades like MS65 or higher, these coins can command higher prices. A perfectly preserved, brilliant red example can fetch several dollars or even more from serious collectors. Moreover, coins with striking errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or die cracks, can be worth significantly more, depending on rarity and demand. The historical context adds another layer of value to the 1957 wheat cent. The mid-1950s were a time of post-war prosperity and industrial growth in the United States. The penny symbolized stability and hard work, reflecting the values that had carried the nation through both the Great Depression and World War II. As the final years of the wheat cent design approached, Americans began to see these coins as a nostalgic link to earlier times. When the U.S. Mint transitioned to the Lincoln Memorial Reverse in 1959 to mark Lincoln's 150th birthday, the wheat pennies of the 1950s suddenly became historic relics. The 1957 issue, being one of the last, holds sentimental value for many collectors today, representing the end of an era in American coinage. From a composition standpoint, the 1957 wheat penny is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, with a total weight of 3.11 grams and a diameter of 19.05 millimeters. This traditional copper alloy was used for most Lincoln cents until the transition to a copper-plated zinc composition in 1982. Its rich reddish-brown color, when well-preserved, still gleams as a symbol of classic American craftsmanship. Today, the 1957 no-mint mark wheat penny is widely available for coin collectors, beginners, and enthusiasts who want to own a piece of mid-20th century history. It's often included in coin albums and sets dedicated to the Lincoln Wheat series. For those lucky enough to find an untouched, uncirculated example with deep red color, the coin can hold both sentimental and monetary value. In conclusion, the 1957 wheat penny no mint mark remains a timeless collectible. Though it may not be the rarest Lincoln cent, it embodies the spirit of America's heritage, from the agricultural roots symbolized by the wheat ears to the enduring image of Abraham Lincoln, a beacon of freedom and equality. whether kept for historical interest, beauty, or potential future value. This coin continues to captivate collectors more than 6 decades after its minting. Next up, the 1958 D. Wheat Penny holds a special place in American numismatic history as one of the final issues of the iconic Lincoln Wheat Cent series, which ran from 1909 to 1958. This 1-cent coin, produced by the Denver Mint, features a familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, designed by Victor David Brenner. The D Mint mark, just below the date, signifies that the coin was struck in Denver, Colorado. The 1958 D Wheat Penny marks the end of an era. The last year the United States Mint produced the wheat ears reversed before transitioning to the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959, commemorating the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. In terms of design, the obverse proudly displays Lincoln's profile facing right, accompanied by the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," above his head, "Liberty" on the left, and the date 1958 D on the right. The reverse features 2 stylized wheat stalks curving along the sides, symbolizing prosperity and abundance, enclosing the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above them appears the motto, E Pluribus Unum. This design had been in use for nearly half a century, serving as a beloved emblem of American heritage and economic endurance through the Great Depression and both World Wars. The 1958 D Wheat Penny was minted in vast quantities. Over 800 million coins were produced, making it one of the most common issues in the entire Wheat Cent series. Because of this enormous mintage, most circulated examples are worth only their face value or a few cents to collectors. However, the coin remains a favorite among hobbyists for its historical importance and nostalgic appeal, especially as it represents the final chapter of the classic Wheat Penny era that began with the 1909 Lincoln Cent. Despite its commonality, condition and rarity still play key roles in determining value. A 1958 D penny in average circulated condition is usually worth between 2 to 5 cents, while an uncirculated specimen with full red luster can command prices from $1 to $5 or more, depending on the grading. Coins graded MS-65 or higher mint state by professional services like PGS or NGC are particularly desirable among collectors seeking pristine examples of the final wheat issue. The striking quality of Denver Mint coins in this period is generally strong, though minor die cracks and doubling can occasionally be found. There are also a few noteworthy varieties and errors associated with the 1958 D Wheat Penny that have intrigued collectors for decades. Some examples show slight die chips, die cracks, or weak strikes, which can add small premiums. While the famous 1958 double die obverse is known for the Philadelphia Mint version, not the Denver one, it remains one of the rarest and most valuable Lincoln cents ever discovered, with only a few known examples worth over $100,000. As such, collectors often inspect 1958 D coins closely in hopes of finding unique die anomalies that can increase their value. The year 1958 also represents an important transition in U.S. coinage history. After this issue, the reverse design changed from the wheat ears to the Lincoln Memorial, which remained in use until 2008. The new design by Frank Gasparo modernized the cent, showcasing the Lincoln Memorial Building in Washington, D.C., and symbolizing national unity and reverence for Lincoln's legacy. Thus, the 1958 D penny stands at a crossroads between 2 major design eras of the American cent. From a historical perspective, the 1958 D Wheat Penny captures the spirit of post-war America, an era of optimism, growth, and modernization. During this time, the United States was entering a period of economic boom, suburban expansion, and cultural transformation. The penny, though small in denomination, circulated widely and touched nearly every American's life. It was used daily in shops, vending machines, and schools, becoming a tangible reminder of shared national values and the enduring symbol of Lincoln's leadership. Collectors today often include the 1958 D Wheat Penny as a sentimental and educational piece in their collections. For new hobbyists, it serves as an accessible introduction to U.S. coin collecting, bridging the historical past with the modern era of Lincoln Memorial and Shield cents. Its affordability and historical depth make it a perfect coin for both beginners and seasoned numismatists. Many collectors also enjoy completing wheat cent sets, with a 1958 D is the natural final entry, a fitting conclusion to nearly 50 years of iconic American coinage. In terms of composition, the 1958 D Wheat Penny is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, weighing 3.11 grams with a diameter of 19 millimeters. It features a smooth edge and was struck on planchets that have since become increasingly rare due to the copper shortage and changes in U.S. mint materials in later decades. The high copper content has even led some people to save these older cents for their metal value, though it remains illegal to melt them for profit under U.S. law. Numismatically, the 1958 D penny embodies both the end of a legacy and the beginning of a new chapter in American coinage. It is a coin that tells a story of change, how a simple copper cent evolved alongside the nation it served. From the humble wheat design that carried Americans through times of hardship and triumph to a memorial that honored Lincoln's vision, the 1958 D is much more than just a coin. It's a piece of living history. As collectors examine its worn details or admire its original red luster, they're reminded of the millions of hands that once passed it, the pocket change that powered a booming economy, and the timeless face of Lincoln, etched into the hearts of generations. In the world of coin collecting, the 1958 D Wheat Penny will forever remain a symbol of America's enduring spirit, representing the closing chapter of one of the most beloved coin designs in U.S. mint history.